Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Anna Knight and I will be hosting. Today our webinar is presented by Chin To, who will take us through UniGear ZS1 product presentation. Before I hand over to Chin, just a few housekeeping items. For any issues relating to connectivity, you can contact myself by clicking on the balloon symbol on the bottom menu, which opens up the chat box, and then you can select the host and type in your query. On your screen, you'll see the presentation, and to the right is control panel when you can ask questions in the Q&A box. Make sure that you select the host when you're sending your questions through. If you cannot find the Q&A section on the right panel, you can select it at the bottom screen by clicking on the three dots and the Q&A tab will appear. You're able to type any questions along the way in the questions box, and at the end of the presentation, we'll run through these questions raised. If we run out of time, questions will be answered afterwards, offline. Throughout this presentation, everyone will be muted by design. There will be a survey that will pop up after this webinar, so please take a minute to give us your feedback. This webinar is recorded and will be available after on our website. And with that, I will hand over to Chin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Anna, can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
All right, good. Thank you for joining the webinar, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about ABB medium voltage air insulated switchgear UniGear ZS1. I would like to start by introducing myself. I'm Chin. I'm the product marketing manager for medium voltage and low voltage switchgear in ABB. I work together with customers from different industries like oil and gas, mining, utilities, and others right across Australia on selecting the correct switchgear product for their applications. I'm so proud today to be given the opportunity to talk to you about UniGear ZS1. UniGear ZS1 is a time-tested air-insulated switchgear of ABB. It has been in the market for more than 30 years. With 500,000 panels currently installed in all kinds of segments in more than 100 countries. We cover a wide range of applications. My presentation is going to take you through the key values in selecting or the key items to when you select the medium voltage switchgear. I'm also going to take you through the UniGear product portfolio. I'm going to share with you some latest product development, and also lastly is the safety improvement that we could implement on the switchgear to make it safer. So what should we consider when selecting the medium voltage switchgear? First is we need to consider the uniformity on site. So meaning, can we use the same product for different applications or voltage rating at site? Yeah. So UniGear ZS1 can support up to 17.5 kV, 4000 amp, and 63 kA. And for 24 kV, it can support up to 3150 amps and 31.5 kA. So UniGear will offer a single user interface with the same operational and maintenance procedure. The spare parts inventories can also be kept at a minimal with the same type of cubicle. So the switchgear is also fully type tested to IEC 62271-200 standards, and is highly customizable to meet your market requirement. Next item to be considered is the safety and reliability of the panels. UniGear ZS1 has been fitted with safety interlocks to prevent maloperations. All operations are carried out with door closed. Operator can only open the H3 compartments when the circuit breaker is isolated and panel is earthed properly. The switchgear has also been type tested to internal arc according to IEC standards. Operators are protected from all sides of the cubicle in an event of arc fault. Switchgear is also designed with high availability in mind. LSC2B classification make the switchboard can remain operable when one of the main circuit breaker compartment or the main compartment is opened. This is the highest availability based on the IEC standards. We, of course, continue to improve the product over the years. UniGear ZS1 can now accommodate a lot of type of switching technology to address different needs. We have designed to accommodate vacuum circuit breakers, SF6 circuit breakers, fuse contactors, switch disconnectors, and many more. So lastly is about the quality of the panels. Yeah. So with so many panels now installed worldwide, the design and the quality of the panels is proven. UniGear panels cover a very wide range of application. We have the design for single bus bar, single level panel. This is the most popular range of product worldwide. For some market, mainly marine, for space saving, we have designed for double level. And the main product range also for UniGear ZS1 cover also the double bus bar. This style of panels will provide increased redundancy to the system and mainly used by utilities where service continuity is important. The panel is type tested to many standards. IEC for most of the markets, this is including for Australian market as well. GOS standard for Russian market, GB standards for China market, and CSA standards for Canadian market. Other than this certification, UniGear panel also approved for many other specials application, for example, for marine, for seismic, and nuclear power plant. UniGear panels have considered many safety features in design. So we first of all definitely will fulfill all the type tests according to the IEC standards. On top of that, we also perform additional tests, for example, the inclination test and the vibration test to cover the compliance for the major shipping registers, for example, like Lloyd registers, DNV-GL, RENA, and Bureau Veritas. Seismic tests are also carried out on the panels according to the IEC and IEEE standards. UniGear panels is internal arc proof. Yeah, they are tested to IEC 62271-200, Annexure A, and fulfilling all 5 criteria. So it's classified as IAC AFLR. A being only accessible to the trained personnel or authorized personnel only, and FLR actually shows the area that was protected. Yeah, so if the operator is standing at the front, at the side, both sides of the switchboard, or at the back of the switchboard, they will be protected in the event of internal arc fault. To pass the test, the switchgear door must remain closed during the test. There shouldn't be any parts flying out from the switchboards. No holes being created at the external housing of the switchboard. There will be fabric indicator like shown in these pictures placed all around the switchboard, and this fabric indicator should not catch any fire during the test as well. The last point is the switchboard earthing connection must remain effective throughout the test. So UniGear panel fulfill all these test requirements. So on top of testing, there is one aspect of it, but the other aspect that we need to consider to fulfill the internal arc requirement is how we install the switchgear and how we exhaust the internal arc products out from the room. Yeah, the exhaust out from the room. So we have for ABB switchgear, the arc is normally channeled to the top from the circuit breaker compartment, from the bus bar compartment, and the cable compartment. Each of them will have a flap at the top, and it will be channeled to the arc duct that run across the top of the switchboards. So the pressure relief will then be directed to the side of the board and then to a safe area. Yeah, so we recommend to use this type of venting wherever possible. And for this type of venting, we'll need to consider the height of the switch room, and at the same time, depending on the length of the board and how we exhaust the arc. Exhaust the arc, then we will recommend also the number of outlets that to be used for that particular switchboard. And if in the event, if let's say there is no exhaust out of the room is possible, we will have also the design for exhaust into the room. So the arc duct will have like a chimney at the top to absorb the arc particles. So for this type of design, we also have to consider the height of the switch room as well as the pressure built up within the room. Based on the IEC standards, UniGear panels are classified as LSC 2B. The bus bar, the cable, and circuit breaker compartments are physically and electrically segregated to provide the user with maximum service continuity. In other words, the operator can access the isolated circuit breaker compartment with the bus bar and cable energized. These compartments are segregated by metallic sheets or shutters, and hence the class PM. The switchgear will come with safety mechanical interlock as standards. The front side of the cubicle is classified as interlock control because the access of the compartments containing the HV parts is controlled by the interlocks. The back of the cubicle is classified as tool-based accessible compartment because it is possible to open the compartment with only a tool. Special procedure will need to put in place. Let's have a look at the circuit breaker compartment. It is designed in such a way that you can rack in and out the breakers and switch on and off the breakers with the door closed. This is an interlock controlled compartment. You can only open the front door of this circuit breaker compartment when the circuit breaker is racked out from the service position to the test position. The cable compartment at the front is also an interlock controlled compartment. You can only open the cable after the circuit breaker is isolated. You can only open the cable compartment after the circuit breaker is isolated and the cable is off. We have implemented all these error-free interlocking system to prevent any incorrect operation. All the operating flaps, doors, and shutters will have padlocking facilities available as standards. Key interlocks like this or the locking magnet requirements are optional. They will be designed based on project requirement. All the panels will equip with earthing switch for cable earthing. We also have option to install the earthing switch on the bus bar for bus bar earthing. The earthing switch will have the same full making capacity and short time rating as the switchboard, meaning, for example, if for a 31.5 kA rated board, you'll have the same 31.5 kA rated earth switch with making capacity of 80 kA. The earth switch will be operated from the front using the handles that comes together with the switch gear. And we can also provide motorized earthing switch for customer who wanted to switch the earthing switch from remotely. To switch the earthing switch remotely. The position of the earthing switch is indicated at the front of the cubicle, and it will have a mechanical indicator that link to the circuit breaker mechanism. Yeah. Now let's look at the product portfolio in more detail. So we start with the single level and single bus bar panel. The key electrical characteristics of the switchgear is shown in this chart. We have at 17.5 kV, the maximum fault rating is 50 kA 3 seconds or 63 kA 1 second. The interlock rating for this switchboard is 50 kA 1 second or 63 kA 0.5 second. The maximum bus bar rating or the panel rating is 4000 amps. At 4000 amp, we'll need to use forced ventilation. For 24 kV, the maximum rating is 31.5 kA at 3150 amps. This slide shows the typical sectional view of the UniGear ZS1 cubicle. The LV compartment will house the protection relay and auxiliary equipment. The apparatus compartment is where we put the withdrawable circuit breakers or contactors. The CTs, the VTs, the cable termination is all mounted on the cable compartment. These panels is the typical panels that showing the cable coming from the bottom. And we also have the bus bar compartment running across the top of the switchboard and joining all the panels together. And we have the arc duct at the top of the switchboard. Depending on the rated current, the panel width will range from 650 millimeters to 800 millimeters or 1 meters. Other than the circuit breakers, we can fit also the vacuum contactor in the same 650 wide millimeter panel. The panel has design available to suit different type of power cable entry, either from the top or the bottom, depending on the panel depth, by changing the panel depth. Next, we have a double level cubicle. For this type of cubicle, we can stack 2 circuit breakers, or 2 contactors in 1 cubicle. And this is the design that we normally use for marine segment where the space is an issue. The maximum voltage rating is 17.5 kV. The short time withstand of 50 kA 3 seconds for 12 kV, 40 kA 3 seconds for 17.5 kV. And for internal arc, we can meet maximum 50 kA 0.5 second for 12 kV and 40 kA 1 second for 17.5 kV. The maximum current that we can support for the double level UniGear ZS1 cubicle is 1600 amps. The panel width, depending on the current that's running on the cubicles, we have 750 millimeters or 900 millimeter wide panels. Each of the circuit breakers or the contactors will have their own cable connections. So there's 2 segregated cable connections for the double feeders. Same as single level, we have the power cable options of either coming from the bottom or from the top of the cubicles. This is the typical sectional view of the double level panels. So we have the arc duct running at the top of the switchboards. Main low voltage compartments is actually situated in the middle. This compartment will house 2 sets of protection relays for the 2 breakers or the contactors that install in the panels. There's another smaller low voltage compartment at the top of the cubicles. This is for the interpanel wiring or the customer external connections. The cubicle will have 2 sets of busbar compartments as well as 2 sets of cable compartments. So for this type of panels, the cable termination will be done from the back of the cubicles. So we need to allow some space at the back of the switchboard for the cable termination. This is a typical product panel lineup. We can actually mix and match the different type of switchgear in one lineup. Like, for example, in this case, we have single level panels with a higher current, for example, like 2000 amps coming in, and then they will distribute to the double level panels feeders with, like, for example, 1250 amps. So no transition panels are required. And as you can see, by using double level panels, we can reduce the feeder dimension by half. Another way we could configure these double level panels is to make it a duplex panels. The layout of the panels is pretty much the same as the double level, but sharing the same cable termination. So if you can see, 2 of these breakers or contactors are sharing the same cable termination. So making this breaker, one of them will be the main and the other become the reserve. Due to the application that we commonly see for this type of panels, we only offer up to 1000 amps, 750 millimeter wide panels only. So how do we use this type of duplex cubicles? So here's an example. So the switchboards has 2 transformers coming in and also 2 generators coming in. So in this section of the board, as you can see, these are actually the double feeders. 2 feeders feeding into 2 loads. And what duplex is doing is to the right hand side of the board is showing here. So the duplex design is normally we use in a multi-motor status, meaning we use one VSD to start multiple motors. Yeah. So take, for example, if we get the load coming in from the transformers, supply coming in from the transformers, this supply will then feed into the one of the outgoing feeders, and the feeders will feed into the VSD. And the VSD, instead of starting the motor directly, they will feed through the run bus, yeah, of the motors. So from the run bus, switching on the contactor unit, it will switch on the motors. Yeah. So when the motors reach the full speed, the run contactor will then switch to the start contactor will then switch to the run contactors. So the motors will continue to take the supply from these bus bars and continue to run. Yeah. So this VSD will then now switch to start the rest of the motors one by one and complete the whole switching process. So in this arrangement, it's actually a space-saving solution for the customer as well as cost-saving. Instead of buying one VSD for multiple motors, you're only using one VSD for 4 motors. UniGear ZS1 also have designed for double busbar system. This is mainly used in utilities. The rating of the panels is 17.5 kV, 31.5 Ka, and 2,500 amps maximum, or 24 kV, 25 Ka, 2,000 amps maximum. The panel will have 2 sets of bus bar. So the bus bar will be running in parallel together with 2 sets of disconnector switch. Other than that, it has the same features as the UniGear ZS1 single bus bar panel. Yeah, for example, the operation from the front of the panels as well as all the safety interlock. The panel dimensions is either 650 wide, 800 or 1 meter, depending on the current rating. This type of cubicles has only the bottom cable entry option. This slide shows the typical sectional view. As you can see, there's 2 bus bars running in parallel as well as 2 sets of arc duct running on top of the switchboard. We have developed many products over the years to suit a different switching requirement. So we can put many type of apparatus into UniGear ZS1. Yeah. So the most commonly used is the VD4 vacuum circuit breakers. So it has a spring actuator and suitable for all types of power distributions application. This is the most common type of circuit breakers suitable to switch distribution line, transformers, capacitors, motors. Other than vacuum circuit breakers, ABB also offer SF6 circuit breakers type HD4. The vacuum circuit breakers and the SF6 circuit breakers has pretty much the similar ratings. And depending on the customer preference, we can provide accordingly. For application where high-speed transfer is required, we'll have VM1 vacuum circuit breakers. Different from VD4 and HD4, this type of circuit breakers is using magnetic actuator. And the circuit breaker's closing time and opening time is less than 16 milliseconds. With such a high-speed switching, then we'll make sure that there is no interruption to the power supply. For motor applications where frequent switching is required, we have VSC fuse contactor. This contactor is classified as AC3 with 100,000 operations. The mechanical life for such contactor is 1 million times. It is very robust, designed for customer who is planning to do the switching of the motor a few times a day. We can also mount the switch disconnector, NAL switch, in a UniGear panel. This will be a fixed installation with removable fuse, if applicable. The size of the fuse will depend on the transformer size. For other application, we have UFS, ultra-fast earthing switch, and IS limiter. We are going to look at UFS later in a slide. Next is on the IS limiter. The IS limiter is deployed to limit the short circuit current of the switchboard. Upon detection of the short circuit current, this unit will activate within the 0.6 millisecond and limit the fault. This unit is normally installed between the bus sections. The last apparatus is the VD4G. Is actually a generator circuit breakers. So it's to switch by name, you can see is actually to switch the generators, because generator switching normally have a very specific functions, and it need to be tested to a IEC and IEEE standards. And for ABB circuit breakers VD4G, we are one of the first few manufacturers that has been tested to both standards together. These breakers has a very high DC component as well as very high TRV voltage, the transient recovery voltage, to suit the generator switching. The control and protection of the panel will be done through the protection relays. Depending on the protection required, we have Reliance 615 series, 620 or 630 series, and 640. The 615 and 620 or 630 relay have a set of pre-configured protection functions, yes, suitable for example, feeders, REF, and motor, we have REM, transformer, we have RET, line, we have line differential, we have RED, generators, we have REG, and capacitor, we have REV. Yeah, so we have different protection relay has been already configured for different application, and 615 series sort of cover the basic and the mid-range kind of protections. 620 and 630 series will cover the mid to the high-end range of protections. And this 620 and 630 series of relays will have also more IOs for you to do a lot more customization or logic customization in the relays. REX 640 is our latest and top of the range kind of protection relays, and these relays are fully customizable depending on your requirement. Next one, I would just want to touch on the SUE 3000. SUE 3000 is the relay that we use to perform the high-speed transfers between the main and alternative supply source, ATS in short. Yeah. So combining together with the VM1-T cubicles, we can achieve the transfer time of 30 milliseconds. If let's say it works, if we combine together with like a standard circuit breakers, the transfer times will be around 100 milliseconds. Together with these units, then we will make sure that there's zero loss of power supply to your plant. UniGear is a very big family of ABB air insulated switchgear. It's not only offer the withdrawable switchgear, but also offer other functions as well. For example, like the UniGear 500R, air insulated switchgear panel with fixed type circuit breakers. The maximum rating of the UniGear 500R is 17.5 kV, 2000 amps, and 31.5 kA. The panels, regardless of its configuration or rated current, we have only one standard width, which is 500 millimeter wide. It is very compact. The depth of the cubicle is 1.3 meters for the bottom entry and 1.6 meter for the top cable entry. The panel will consist of a 3-position switch, the breaker, as well as the CT and the VTs. This is the typical sectional view of the UniGear 500R. It has 2 main compartments. Circuit breakers, the bus bar compartment at the top, and the combined circuit breakers as well as cable compartment at the bottom. The arc duct is running at the top, and then this is the LV compartment. The operation of the panels is done through the front of the cubicle. We have viewing window to view the position of the 3-position switch. There are also, these are the slot for the operating the 3-position switch. Yeah, so the handle will be provided with the switchgear for you to operate the 3-position switch from the closed position to isolate position, and also from isolated position to the earth position. Next, we have the voltage indicators. And the circuit breaker operating mechanism, it's also at the front of the cubicles. You can open the circuit breakers, close the circuit breakers, and also charge the circuit breakers from the front of the panels. The panels will come with a mimic, and on the mimic, you will have the circuit breakers on-off position indicators, as well as the three position switch position indicators. Other than the standard UniGear ZS1 with withdrawable VSC contactor, we also have UniGear MCC. This panel is only 400 watt. It's a slim contactors. It has a withdrawable VSC contactor sits in the middle here. The 400 amps load current is possible by using a parallel fuse, double fuse. This is ideal for a switchboard with many motor starters, for example, in oil and gas, mining process plant, or water utilities. This will provide many benefits of, this panel will provide many benefits of UniGear panels in a very compact 400 millimeter wide dimension. The rating of the boards is 12 kV, up to 400 amps. This will cover many of those motor startings requirement already, and 50 kA 3 seconds for the current short time withstand, and 50 kA 1 second for the arc internal arc withstand. The feeders is normally used for direct online starting a motor, but on top of that, other than the motor starting, we can also use it to switch transformers feeders or capacitor bank feeders. Other than direct online switching, we also support solution with other solutions for motor startings, depending on your requirement. For example, if you have forward and reverse starting motors, we can have the design to meet those requirements. We can also support star delta motor starting, reactor motor startings, and auto transformers motor starting. Now I would like to share with you our latest product launches. We have now improved the footprint of UniGear ZS1 by introducing UniGear ZS1 500mm wide panel. This is the most compact air insulated switchgear with withdrawable circuit breakers. Although the cabinet width is reduced from 650 millimeters to 500 millimeters, the technical parameter has not been lowered. The panel is rated at 12 kV, 1250 amps, 31.5 kA 4 second withstand, and internal arc fault of AFLR 31.5 kA 1 second. Another advantage of this panel is that we can deliver the panel pre-assembled, 2 at a time. So this will help to reduce the site installation time by 10%. Next, another one of our new panels, new launches is the 63 kA panels. This is for a very specific application and more commonly used in power stations. We are one of the few manufacturers that can meet such high rating for such a high-end application. The maximum rating of the cubicle is 17.5 kV, 4000 amps. The short circuit current withstand for the main circuit is 63 kA 1 second, and for the earthing circuit is 63 kA 0.6 second. Internal arc classification is AFLR 62 kA 0.5 second. The panel layout, as you can see, is quite similar to UniGear ZS1. We have the LV compartment, the apparatus compartment to house the withdrawable breakers, the busbar compartments, and this is the cable compartment with cable termination and the current transformers. The only difference for this cubicle is going to be deeper compared to the standard UniGear ZS1 cubicle. Lastly, is also I wanted to share with you is UniGear Digital. They are a trend globally to move to digital switchgear. This will improve the safety, availability, and monitoring of the medium voltage switchgear. So most of the key switchgear within ABB platform can actually offer digital solution. It is built upon the base product, a known technology, rather than inventing a whole new switchgear. Then take for air insulated switchgear, for example, we'll use the UniGear ZS1 platform, the UniGear ZS1 MCC or 500R. And with this basic platform, we'll add in the smart operation and control, as well as the monitoring and diagnostic, and making this switchgear smarter. So the digital panels will offer the same robustness and safety as the conventional UniGear panels. There are three main parts of the digital switchgear: the ABB protection relay with IC61850 communication, the current sensors, and the voltage sensors. By using the current and voltage sensors and protection relays that rely on 615 or 620 relays with IC61850 and goose messaging, it is actually an improved design with less wiring and provide a better flexibility. Though the main focus is the sensors, we can still accommodate also the conventional solution for specific application, for example, like revenue metering, where conventional CTs and VTs are required. So why digital switchgear? So digital switchgear can be delivered faster. The reduction is mainly due to reduction in time taken to clarify or decide on the CT and VT data. With sensors, it provides linear measurement for a wide range of value. One size fits all. For example, if you have a substation initially supplied with 11 kV power, and further down the track, if you have planned to change this to upgrade this to a 24 kV, the same sensor can be used with minimal reconfiguration on software. The Rogowski coil current and voltage sensors in combination with modern ABB relays and IC61850 communication plus goose messaging provide a lot of flexibility to the customer. If changes are required late in the project, it can be done by just reconfiguring the relay and its logic. The installation and commissioning time can be improved as well due to the lesser interpanel wiring and also fewer low voltage components to be tested at site. This also will reduce the possibility of errors and failure at site. Hence, digital switchgear not only speed up the delivery of the switchgear, it also speed up the site activities, and project can start to generate revenue for you quicker. Sensors technology will also provide safer working environment for operator when it comes to testing of current and voltage signal secondary circuit. The operators is not exposed to high voltage. There's no issue on the open circuit on the CTs. This is because the sensors is running on a millivolts. The voltage sensors are also immune against the disturbance such as ferro resonance phenomena, so making the switchboard safer for the operators. Switchgear can also now make smarter with condition monitoring. We have ABB SWICOM that can offer circuit breakers diagnostic, partial discharge detection, as well as the temperature monitoring. This information can then be displayed as to the users as a tool to verify the health of the switchboard. This will be shown like in the traffic light system, whether the circuit breakers live and kind of things will be displayed on the SWICOM unit. The circuit breakers condition monitoring will be done through the protection relays, the 615 or 620 series, and this will then connected to the SWICOM to do the extra analysis to analyze the breakers condition. For partial discharge monitoring, we have two technologies. We have capacitive coupling technologies or the ultra high frequencies technologies. The commonly used one is PDCOM with a capacitive coupling technology. This PDCOM will be connected to a voltage present indicators and can provide measurement of partial discharge up to 10 cubicles. The temperature sensors, again, we have two options as well available for the customers, either a wireless temperature monitoring or infrared temperature monitoring, depending on the customer preference. All this data will be connected to the Swecom, and it can be displayed on a SCADA system, on a ABB Ability Cloud. This is a subscription-based services offered by ABB. And at the same time, we can also, of course, view it in the front of the panels through the HMI, as well as using a tablet or a smartphone by downloading ABB application app from the Apple Store or Google Store. When it comes to medium voltage switchgear, the safety is very important thing. Yeah. So many a time we wanted to try to avoid the internal arc event in the for the medium voltage switchgear. So, but sometimes it's not avoidable because the main reasons causing the fault is unfortunately due to man-made error. Yeah. For example, the installation mistakes or the operation mistake by bypassing or damaging the safety interlocks, or the tools has left forgotten in a switchgear, and we turn on the switchgear and it will create the internal arc fault. Yeah, so consequences of such event is huge, and it will impact the operator as well as causing damage to the assets. The ABB panels is already designed and built with safety in mind. Yeah, operation of the switchgear are carried out behind a closed door with all the safety interlocks included. Access to the live part is only permitted when the panels are properly isolated and earthed. All the panels are internal arc AFLR tested, and to further improve the safety, we also have options to have the racking of the circuit breakers to be done off-site remotely, and also the motorized of the earthing can be done remotely as well. So the main point is remove the operators to operate the live switchboard in front of the cubicles, and we can do it very, very much safely remotely. So what we discussed so far in the previous slide is a passive protection. Yeah, so we include the internal arc tested panels. We have it remote racking and remote earthing kind of things. These are all passive protection. But we can also, if for the customers that's looking for extra safety, we can look at active protection for the customers. Yeah. So this chart show a typical time energy against a time chart event in the event of internal arc. Yeah. As you can see, the energy grow exponentially after the 100 milliseconds. Once we pass the 100 millisecond mark, the cable will catch fire, followed by the copper and the steel. The energy can reach up to 40 megawatt and temperature at around 20,000 degrees Celsius. The light and the sound burst can also cause hearing and vision loss. This will definitely cause injury of the operator for non-internal arc tested panels. And this outcome is also not good even for internal arc tested panel, because the panel is damaged. A lot of cleaning need to be done on site, and this would mean downtime for the customers. To limit the risk, we can consider to include the active protection to limit the energy created. Speed is, as you can see, speed and time is everything in the is very important in such situation, and millisecond actually means very different outcome. The idea is if we could limit the internal arc energy, the better it is for the asset and human protection. By using light sensors together with the protection relays, we could limit the fault to around 100 milliseconds. And by using ultra-fast earthing switch, UFS, we can further reduce the time to around 4 milliseconds, protecting the site as well as the operators. What is ultra-fast earthing switch? This system consists of one electronic controller and three primary switching devices. The controller will detect an internal arc by monitoring the light and current flowing through the switchboard, and upon detection of the internal arc, the controller will then signal the switching device, initiating a three-phase circuit to earth, short circuit to earth in parallel to the internal arc. By redirecting the energy flow, we could extend the internal arc within 4 milliseconds well before the first peak of the fault current. Other than UFS, we can also use light sensors working together with the circuit breakers to limit the internal arc. We can either use a TVOC or REA relays. This relay will detect the light and current. The high-speed output contacts of this relay will react within 2 to 3 milliseconds and clearing the fault in less than 100 milliseconds. So we now come to the end of my presentation. I just wanted to highlight and provide you a summary on why you need to pick ABB as a partner when it comes to medium voltage switchgear. So ABB is a pioneer in medium voltage switchgear and insulated technology with more than 50 years proven experience. Yeah, and we do a lot of R&D and continue to improve our product. It takes a huge investment for us to advance the technology with all our latest product. For example, like UFS, the ICE limiters, and all these are very fast-acting product that can help you to achieve a better result and protection for your switchgear. Products can be tailor-made to meet your local requirements and standards. Like, for example, what we do for the UK market, the American market, as well as the China market. We have a UniGear panels is a high reliable, smart and compact panels that is suitable for all kinds of applications. Yeah. As ABB, we provide full engineering and technical support both locally as well as from the overseas factory. We produce all the key components by ABB ourselves, like for example, the instrument transformers, the circuit breakers, the relay, the vacuum interrupter are all based on well-established ABB products. Locally in Australia, we also have a big network of service people with trained personnel. They can provide a fast response to you if you need if you have any requirement on site support. So that brings us to the end of my presentation. I'm open for Q&A now. So back to you, Anna.
Thanks, Swatchin. So as you said, we're going to move to the question and answer session. So we'll answer some of the questions you have posted during today's presentation. Just a reminder, you can still submit your questions in the question panel. So the first question that we have is, can all different types of the UniGear model be put in one single lineup?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So the UniGear panel, the reason why we have we call it a UniGear family is because all of these cubicles have the same bus bar design. Yeah. So we can mix and match between the different cubicle. For example, you have a single level changing to a double level, or using a withdrawable circuit breaker coupled together with a fixed type circuit breakers. We can have all these options lined up together in one single switchboard.
Okay, thank you. The next question I've got here is, have you internal arc tested the switchgear with the LV door open?
This is a very common question that raised sometimes by the customers. The switchboard has been internal arc tested based on IEC standards. In the IEC standards, it's actually called for all the doors to be closed as one of the criteria. Yeah, but of course we understand a lot of the requirement nowadays because the customers may need to access the low voltage compartment while the switchboard is live, and they have concern in terms of the safety of the switchboard while we are doing some work on the LV compartment, and we understand that. So we actually carry out tests as well on the UniGear ZS1 cubicle with the LV door removed, and we have passed the test as well.
Okay, thank you. Another question here is, can you remote racking your circuit breaker and contactor? And if yes, what is the mechanical endurance?
Okay. The circuit breakers and the contactors are all designed, have the options of remote racking possibility. And this has been tested rigorously. It is tested to 10,000 operation at least in this case. So we have tested the switchgear racking in and out, the motor operations together with the truck inside the panels for up to 10,000 operation.
Okay, thank you. There's quite a few questions. So how to change the breaker position from on to test position?
The circuit breakers position is we have test position as well as service position. Yeah. So service position means the circuit breaker is connected to the bus bar. So if you wanted to change from a service position to the test position, you will first need to switch off the breakers, and then you need to rack up the circuit breakers. So we will provide you with a handle that you have it in front of you, and then with the door closed, you then rack up the circuit breakers. So we also have the option, of course, to remotely put the motors, and then you can do the racking of the racking of the circuit breakers from service position to test position remotely as well. So we have both options, manual or motor operation.
Okay, thank you. The next question I've got here is, can we use the UniGear ZS1 for a panel-to-panel interconnection?
Panel-to-panel interconnection. I presume you means like bus duct or kind of things that you have split between two switchboards. If that's the case, yes, we can do that as well. We have design whereby you can do a bus duct connection from the top to the or from the bottom as well. We have both options available. And
Okay,
other than that, if there is the connection not between two switchboards, it's between two panels, of course, yes, because the bus bar compartment is actually open between the panels. So the bus bar will be running horizontally on top of the cubicles.
Okay, thank you. So another one here is for the outdoor switchgear forced ventilation. Do you have a guide to select/calculate the needed ventilation? We have cooling and heating requirements.
The UniGear ZS1 is actually indoor panels. So to put it in an outdoor application, we will either need to put it in an outdoor enclosure, or we have to put it in a prefabricated room, yeah, depending on the size of the switchboard that you have on site. If it goes into a prefabricated switch room, normally you have a air conditioning room. But if let's say you put into a kiosk without a ventilation, then there will be some derating that we need to consider. Yeah, depending on the temperature that you may hit in terms for the enclosure or the outdoor environment. Then let's say, for example, at 630 M, at 40 degrees Celsius, we can run 630 M. Yeah, but 55 degrees Celsius, we may need to run it at 580 or 560 M. Then this will depend on the type of panels that we have and the design that we have. So we'll work together with you in terms of deciding what is the best rated for the switchboards based on the temperature that you have on site.
Thanks. Another question I've got here is, what is the life of the UFES? How many times in operations will it limit the IAC events with the switchgear?
The UFES is I need to come back on this one. From memory, is actually up to 5 operations. But can you, Anna, can you take down the contact details of that customers, and I'll get back to him separately?
Yes, definitely. I will do. So another question here is, can we use the ZS1 in an ATEX area?
Can you repeat the questions?
Can we use the ZS1 in an ATEX area?
Oh, okay. All right. UniGear ZS1 is normally not used in a hazardous area. So it's actually always has to be outside of the hazardous area. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Another one here is, during maintenance, whether withdrawable circuit breaker cubicle be released using remote means like using a pendant or other means?
Yes, we have designed to have a pendant connected for the remote racking, but really for the pendant, you are also talking about maybe 10 meters or something, yeah, kind of pendants. Yeah, our recommendation is really, rather than using pendant, we would recommend to use the motorized racking or the motorized earthing remotely through your control from the control room. Yeah, so the control room can send a signal, and then through the communication bus, it goes into the cubicles, and then you can rack in and out of the panels remotely rather than using a pendant.
Okay, thank you. And then we've got another question here. Is there thermal monitoring inside the panel?
Yes, we can have the thermal monitoring inside the panels. We have options to put the temperature sensors on the bus bar, on the circuit breakers, or on the cable compartments.
Okay, thanks, Sorchin. So that concludes all the questions for the webinar today. We want to thank you everyone for attending, and we hope you found it useful. You will receive a survey on the presentation as soon as this finishes, and we appreciate it if you can give us your feedback. An email will also come out in a few hours after, and you're able to access this recording on our ABB website. So thank you everyone for joining, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. See ya. Bye.